I don't know anything about hip hop.
I love doing a hip hop episode with you.
I want to say it right off the top, right off the gut. I know I've said it before, but no uncertain terms. I don't know what to do with hip hop. I was thinking about it. Like hip hop to me is like it's like opening somebody else's mail. Like it's clearly marked. It couldn't be. No, that's not my name on it. That is not my address. It's not meant for me. Don't look in there. It would be rude. Just take it where it's supposed to go. Like you got.
We need to get Paul in here because I wish he could have heard that. That's really funny.
We'll get him in here in a minute. Today's episode is episode 60. First of all, welcome. Thank you for clicking on Rock the Cash Bar. We really appreciate it. I'm Ben. This is Diane. We're very happy to have you for our 60th episode. Yeah. We're doing Outkast today, which is a hip hop group that I know. If you had told me, if you said Outkast, I mean, like, yeah, here's what I would have known: Atlanta. I would have told you that these are the guys who did Miss Jackson. These are the guys who did Hey Ya. I definitely could have told you that Andre 3000 was part of Outkast. Would have been stuck on Big Boy though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that's how little I know about this. But we're doing this episode with a very, very funny comedian who's originally from Dallas. I'm not sure where he's living these days, but Paul Varghese, one of the funniest guys in the state.
Let's let him in. Paul, would you like to join us? Hey, Paul.
There he is. How are you?
He's connecting.
We're zooming.
There we go.
There we go. Hey, Paul.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So I wish we had you hear Ben's opener. The first thing he says is, "I don't know anything about hip hop."
I really don't. It makes me. We've done a couple of hip hop episodes now, and I just have to lean on my 40-year-old white guyness, where just like I just don't know anything about it, and I get a little shy and squirrely trying to talk about
it. Well, I'll make sure you don't step into any pools that you don't want to step into. Yeah. because it is I am that guy that like hip hop now is very bad. It's very awful. Because the 90s was like the prime part of hip hop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I want to hear more about that. Ben made me laugh because he said it feels like it's opening someone else's mail. Like you shouldn't be.
Well, I mean, it's a problem to get into it now because it doesn't last. It doesn't have the longevity that 90s hip hop does now. Like nobody's going to go to a Cardi B concert with their kids when they're 50, you know?
Why do you think that is?
Because, well, I mean, the nerdy part of it is people don't sample anymore. So you can just, and they're not musicians. So they just use keyboards that's why every song sounds the same.
Right.
Outkast sample, they have a band, they have a whole band behind them. I've seen them a bunch of times in concert too. They have a full band behind them. It's just a different generation, you know, it's so much easier. Like just because you have a camera doesn't mean you're a photographer, but you know what I mean? So it's the same thing with keyboards. People just think since they can turn on a piano, that they can, they're whatchamacallit, instrumentalists. So
okay.
Yeah, I went to a Cardi B concert and it wasn't at all what I was expecting.
Why?
I don't
good or bad way.
No, I guess in a good way. Like I went with it was for the rodeo 2 years ago, I think. Okay. Last year. And my girlfriend had tickets, so we went. I guess I was expecting Cardi B to be something like a Christina Aguilera or like a Beyonce type. Like I was really expecting that kind of like teeny pop songstress, but that obviously that wasn't not what I got at all. We did get like the highly sanitized Cardi B though, because apparently she had to like sign contracts. She's like, you're not going to curse at the rodeo. No cursing at the rodeo, potty mouth.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it is cool to go to hip hop concerts from artists in the 90s because it doesn't start late. I mean, I remember when I used to watch, like, I got into Tribe Called Quest. That was the first hip hop group I got into. And I remember seeing, that was the first concert I went to. I remember doors open at 8 and I was like the guy that showed up at 8, you know? And they didn't get on stage till 11:30. But now, like you see, like I saw De La Soul a few years ago and doors open at 7. They were on at 7:15.
Whoa.
They're out by 9.
Dude, at 43, that's my speed. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, De La Soul's got to be in their 50s, so it's their own thing too.
Yeah.
Like, no, let's get this out of the way. We got to get back to the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, why did you pick So Fresh, So Clean? I know you had a lot. I mean, you were all over the place. You were like, let's do Huey Lewis in the News.
Yeah.
No, let's do Outkast.
My iPhone looks like somebody, my iTunes account looks like somebody hacked it. It's very, it's insane. There's B.W. Stevenson in there, and there's, if anybody knows who that is, it's all that kind of stuff. But Outkast was big for me because when I got into hip hop, well, first off, I got into hip hop because I think the reason every Indian kid gets into hip hop is there's no brown people on TV. So sorry, this is the dogs are barking. So hey,
oh, it's fine.
That's all right.
So you don't see brown people on TV. So the closest you get to is rappers at that point. And so I think that's what, I mean, at least for me, that was my experience. And
that makes sense.
Most of hip hop back then was West Coast, East Coast. It was either, Biggie and Nas and Tupac and all that stuff. And it was okay, but I wanted to hear somebody that was from this. I mean, I live in Dallas. I know people don't consider Dallas the South, but I've met enough rednecks. It's the South.
Oh, yeah.
I've been called enough slurs on stage. It's the South. So to be able to hear somebody with a Southern accent, because I think we all get it when we get tipsy, and like my drawl comes out big time.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool to hear the South talking. I mean, it's cool to hear us represented, and Outkast is the exception to all of it. There's not that many good Southern rappers out there. I mean, you have one in your own city. I mean, Scarface is great.
Yeah.
But there's not a whole lot of them. I mean, just in music in general, there's not a whole lot of great artists in general. But
Right.
Outkast was like, I think they were my age too. So they were like, I think they were a year older than me. So they were 17 when their first album came out.
Wow. That's
94.
so young.
And it's interesting hearing him talk at 17 because he's I love going to artists and like comedy shows and music, and people, when I watch them, I'm like, okay, I could never do that. I don't know how they do that. And Outkast is one of those groups. So.
Yeah. I'm like Ben. I mean, I know a little more hip hop than Ben, and I love Outkast, but I didn't ever take a deep dive in. But I always knew that I just respected them for how different they were than everyone else at the time. And I saw just a little bit in the research, that was on purpose. They saw what was happening in like hip hop videos, which was just like money and bitches and bikinis. And they're like, we want to do something different.
Which is ironic because this song.
Verse,
Big Boy's verse is all about like, keeping your throat warm, He's alluding to a lot of stuff. And then Andre, I don't know if you guys remember the video, but the video, Big Boy's all pimped out and stuff, and Andre's brushing his teeth.
Yeah.
His verse, he's just doing a toothpaste commercial. And I always considered Big Boy's, like, his lyrics, like I always thought he was I considered him being ironic, like he's making fun of the whole bling lifestyle. But then I've seen him in concert, and he walks around like a pimp. So
yeah.
Can't tell if it's real or not, but
maybe it's a little yin and yang. It works.
Yeah.
As we get into these lyrics, I'll say nothing sends a white woman to the Urban Dictionary like Outkast lyrics, especially this song. And then I was like, oh wait, no, I remember that. I know what Slizzard is. All right.
And then there's a lot of like 80s, 70s references that are in there that I absolutely love.
Me too.
They do a shout out to the zipper company. Nobody does a shout out to a zipper company. We'll get to that point, but
yeah, you'll have to explain that, because there's some of these I'm like, no, I know what that is, and some I'm like, I'm gonna have to ask Paul. I think I got some confusion. So our favorite thing to do is listen to Ben read hip hop lyrics. So let's get into it.
Always awkward. All right, here we go. Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm dressed so fresh, so clean. That's yeah. The Canadian Englishman in me is just like kind of recoils from that kind of brashness. Like settle down.
It's exactly what it means. I don't think there's any deep dive on those.
Nope.
No.
There's nothing deeper going on there.
So fresh, so clean. I love when you stare at me. I'm dressed so fresh, so clean. So he's feeling himself. He's feeling good, right?
Is it dressed or just? I thought it was.
That's an interesting thing too. I always said just so fresh, so clean. But then I do it. It's one of my staples at karaoke now. I pulled it out about a year ago. So
do they?
And the karaoke lyrics say dress so fresh, so clean.
Well. We'll see. Okay, we'll say it. However, it both work. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Sir Luscious got gator belts and patty melts and Monte Carlos. I'm always upset when somebody gets to a great nickname before I do. Like there's like Sir Luscious. I wish I thought of that.
That's another thing. It's actually Sir Lucius, because Sir Lucius Left Foot is his other name.
Well, of course.
But in karaoke, it says Sir Luscious, and yeah, I say it too.
Sir
My
Luscious
goodness.
is still out there.
But it's Sir Lucius Left Foot is his moniker.
We're gonna get
Sir
so much
Lucius?
wrong.
No kidding.
Oh, it's fine. It's
Just
totally
roll
fine.
with it. I can't get it right. Sir Lucius Left Foot. Is there a story behind that we know?
I know nothing about it. I know this time that when Andre changed into Andre 3000, he became Sir Lucius Left Foot,
Okay.
Okay.
which is like I guess, some sort of pimp moniker.
I love
He
it.
shouts out the Monte Carlo, which was the car that I grew up in, basically.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
The one that has the you can stand up in the front seat. You know what I mean? Like you could run to the. You know what I'm talking about? Like it had the middle thing, but it didn't have a middle thing. It had one long seat in the front, one long seat in the back.
Yes.
Yep. It's like driving a couch.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
best. God, I miss the 80s. Like, were you guys like me? Like, no seat belts. My grandmother put me in the front seat. I ran back and forth between the window and her driving. I mean, it was just chaos. It was fucking like Thunderdome when we were kids.
And nobody ever pulled over your dad for trying to whoop your ass while he was driving. Meanwhile, you text and drive. And you get like,
Oh, it was madhouse.
Patty Melts in Monte Carlos and El Dorados. I'm waking up out front. Oh, excuse me. I'm waking up out of my slumber feeling like Rollo.
Who's Rollo?
You
Rollo.
might have to Google Rollo. I think that's I think it's a reference to like maybe Sanford and Son or some 70s sitcom thing. I didn't know what Rollo was either.
Yeah.
So follow. It's Showtime at the Apollo. I think we all know Showtime at the Apollo. Minus the Kiki Shepherd.
Yes.
What about a hoe and leopard print? Kiki Shepherd.
I remember Kiki.
Yeah. So Kiki Shepherd she was the Vanna White of that show Showtime at the Apollo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when she would come out, like everybody rubs that stool and then they do the little town thing. She would come out and put her finger over the head of the winner and all that stuff.
Yes.
Okay, I remember now.
God, I love
Teddy
Showtime.
Pendergrass. I know Teddy Pendergrass.
There you
Haha,
go.
there's one I got. Cooler than Freddie Jackson.
Another
Freddie
R&B
Jackson
singer.
Yeah, another R&B singer. Yeah.
Jackson. I see. I didn't want to look this stuff up because I don't want to like ruin any of my own stupidity. But presumably, Freddie Jackson's one of the Jackson Five. No.
Freddie Jackson
Okay.
is like when you can't afford Luther Vandross.
Freddie Jackson will be there to cover your wedding.
the poor man's Luther Vandross. I like it.
This is where it gets a little Me Too-y.
Okay.
All right.
But it's very clever. It's very clever. So that's why I don't think it got. I don't think the internet has discovered what they mean yet.
Okay. All right.
Sipping a milkshake in a snowstorm left my throat warm in the dorm room at the AU. Yeah, I think we know what's going left.
She was willing. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Let him finish the rest of that.
Okay.
We blew hay too. That's a marijuana reference, isn't it? Is he talking about getting high?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun thing about Outkast, they make up their own slang, and so a lot of this, like the term "dirty South" was started by them.
Okay.
In '94, but like they used to call, and I thought it was great. It never caught on. They used to call weed Billy Clint, like Billy Clinton, like Bill Clinton.
I like it.
Puffin' Billy Clint is what they called it, but it never caught on.
I love that ingenuity.
We blew hay too. Athletes may take you, but you must have me mistaken with them statements that you make, cause.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, shout out to Auburn University. That was the AU that he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All
Now
right.
he's gonna start doing some '80s deep dives, which is good. Like he's gonna start referring to stuff I grew up with now.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm excited about
I love
this.
this part. I know.
Canary Yellow 79 Seville is on display. My bungle whipped it up, so I'm gonna get my rims today.
Yeah.
So all right. So
What
How
you're
about
gonna-
pimping his ride?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. It's 79 Seville. I've never seen one, but I've heard of it.
All
Okay.
right.
Pimpin'
So,
your ride. Hold on. Let's talk about how big Pimpin' Your Fucking Ride was in the 90s. That show was ridiculous. They would put washing machines in the back of your car.
And they'd always drop them off. Like they were always going to the hood. So like that, that guy's car got jacked.
Just
Hit my ride.
immediately.
Yeah.
I don't mean to brag, but I drive a Honda Civic, like the sporty one. And every now and again, like every couple of months, I get like a handwritten letter just stuck under the windshield, just like, I want to buy your car. And you know, it's
Wow.
like, because it's like mine is just like a normal like factory model Honda Civic, but it's exactly the kind that you want to soup up somehow.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Yeah.
I get the gearheads trying to buy it off. I'm like, no, I like it. It's fine just the way it is. I love
Like-
my car for what it is.
The guy I was dating in high school, I graduated in 96. For Christmas one year, I bought him the whole base system for his car and rims, because that's what you
What?
did in the 90s. Yeah.
My roommate in college, he had his car detailed. He had a Honda Accord and he had it detailed. So he had like this devil ghost face on the gas cap.
Okay. Nice.
You know, so I mean, we
Where
couldn't
did you
back
get the
it up.
money in high school?
Huh? Good.
Me?
Sorry, Dan. Where did you get the money in high school to
I
trip a car
worked-
out like that?
I worked and I saved. I mean, I didn't have any bills. I still lived at home. So all the money I got, I just had, I mean, I saved, it was like 300 plus, but I was able to save that much because I loved him, Ben.
Where is he now? Let's go get that money back.
He's an architect. He's doing all right.
Oh,
He doesn't need it.
No.
So a fella, although he doesn't say fella, you know, so
No.
a fella can ride out to the Honeycomb Hideout.
exactly. Honeycomb Hideout. You know that, right? Everybody knows. the
No, I don't know
Honeycomb
that.
Hideout.
I had to look it up. Do you have the same answer I have? You go first, Paul.
No, I'm just using. I just like the reference of it. I don't know what it actually means. I know the commercial of the Honeycomb Hideout.
What's
Honeycomb
that?
cereal.
Oh,
Honeycomb cereal.
okay.
They used to call it honey- they would eat cereal in the tree.
All right. Well, according to
Ooh.
the Urban Dictionary, it's a place to get high or have fun and not be busted by the cops. So any place that you have like that.
So a tree house.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like a tree house. Exactly.
Yeah.
Your safe space.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you how to wild out like Jack Tripper. That's in my wheelhouse.
Yay!
I know Jack Tripper.
We all know Jack Tripper.
Exactly. Easily the most underrated actor ever, comedic
Oh,
actor ever.
so good.
John Ritter was so good. So
And the formula of Three's Company never got old to me. Just a misunderstanding every time. And so many shows have copied that. And I'm like, it just doesn't get old for me. I love it.
I love the moments where he'll like stub his toe. Like every episode, he'd like stub it on the ottoman, and then he'll like, "Mommy!" He'll always like just scream like a little girl. He'll whisper. That always kills me. I'm like, they wrote that in the script. It says, you know, squeal, mommy. He always does it every episode. But
Do they have Three's Company like on Hulu or Netflix or anything? Like, can I go watch that?
no, it's always on those syndicated channels. That's the only time I see it.
I'm gonna go
But
look for
it's
it.
great. Jack Tripper's great.
God, people just don't know. All right, get to the next line because I have a question.
Let me be bambino on your snippets.
Snipples.
Bambino is baby. I think we all know
Mhm.
that.
Oh, okay. I went too far. I get it. He wants to suck on our nipples. I
Yes.
was
But you
thinking,
do.
I'm such a baseball fan. I was thinking the great Bambino, and you know, he was known for hitting home runs. And I'm like, guys, we need to have a talk about what we do and don't like have done to our nipples. Like, what are you doing? I get it. I see what he's doing. All right, next line, because I have more questions.
Okay.
YKK on your zipper, lick you like a lizard.
YKK is the brand of every zipper is only made by YKK. Those initials are on every single zipper.
I didn't know
Really?
that.
That is the zipper company. Yep.
There's one zipper
Alright.
company. They are a monopoly, I assume.
YKK.
I am
yes.
Well, you are, it appears, the one zipper I just checked, you are correct. I never noticed that.
Yep. That's
good
why they're
to
so
know.
great. That's why they're so funny.
Like,
How did you corner the market on zippers?
I guess, like, who needs to make something that's perfect already? Who needs
You know,
to
it feels like
compete?
something that you could probably lie that you are
My
an
great
heir to the
grandpa.
YKK throne, and nobody would doubt you.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true.
Just thinking like some like crazy aggressive mobsters in the garment district in New York, just like stay away from the zippers. We handle zippers around here.
But YKK peaked at that. I mean, they found that one thing and they were out. They were done.
That's how I want to get rich. Like, I'm not one of these people that's going to make my millions and then like keep pushing. I'll be like, okay, we're good. I'm going to go enjoy my life now. Bye.
When I'm slizzard or sober, 6 million ways to fold you. 6 million ways to fold you. Yeah, creativity.
What I love about them too is there's always like this kind of, speaking of Three's Company, double meanings. They either talking about women or weed, and you can use them for both. Both are references for both.
I like that way out too. If someone was like, "Hey, this is a meeting," like I was talking about weed. What are you talking about?
I like this line. Like Noah, I get twos of you, and you get pretty deep.
Like Noah, I get twos of you.
But I'll call you ass around 8-ish because I know you'll be there for me. Cause
what a sweet, loving line though at the end.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be around 8-ish. You'll be there for me. Yeah.
Girl, don't forget the girl. Who writes these lyrics? Is it Andre or is it Big Boy or is it?
Yeah, I think they write their own because they have two completely different styles, which you'll notice when Andre comes in. Andre is actually way more. I don't know what the word. He's way more prose than anything else. Like he has a kid with Erykah Badu.
Yes.
Erykah Badu lives here in Dallas. Andre actually lives here too. He has a place up here. But there's a very Erykah influence on his lyrics and stuff. So
I was so surprised to learn that.
Yeah. I think their kid's 18 now. So
wow.
and Outkast also references their sons a lot. So Big Boy has a son named Bamboo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And he references him. And I think Andre's kid's name is Seven. I don't know if you mentioned Seven, but he'll mention anytime Andre's mentioning about a woman breaking his heart, it's 99% about Erykah Badu.
Oh wow.
Erykah Badu.
So Miss Jackson is about that song. Miss Jackson is about Erykah Badu's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I read. I was shocked to learn that because when I first heard that song, it just sounded like a normal like when that song came out. I guess I was like 19 or 20, and it seemed like it was the first round of like people my age were having kids. So it just like it seemed to be like, okay, this is just a normal reference for that. To find out it was Erykah Badu's mom was just like, wow, that changes things for me.
There's that song to Miss Jackson. If you the beat in the background is the wedding march. The dun 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 dun.
Oh wow.
Dun, dun, dun. That's the whole beat.
Holy shit.
Mind blown.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's all the same album. This is So Fresh So Clean and Miss Jackson are both on Stankonia. Stankonia, which also has what's the other song that was big on there? I can't remember offhand, but it has Bombs Over Baghdad, which is
okay.
You know, so if you're gonna get into hip hop, Ben, that's the album I would get.
That's where you start.
Yeah.
How do you? I way too much time trying to pronounce their first album.
You have to have said it a lot to not trip over it.
Well, I how do you say it?
Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music.
See,
there we go. Yeah.
I was looking at it written out and I was like, all right, you're gonna have to capitalize each new word because I'm getting lost.
No, it's definitely one of those words that you don't have enough Scrabble tiles to win. Good.
I didn't even realize that Cadillac was in there. I thought
Ben's like supercalifragilistic.
Pretty much. Like I'm that level of stupid. I'll call you ass around 8-ish. That's a gentlemanly hour to be calling a lady. That's like let's go out and have dinner. That's not 2 o'clock in the morning. That's not a 3 a.m. you up text message. She's calling you at 8. We're making proper plans.
We're making plans.
Get dressed up. We're going out.
I respect it.
These huge baby eyes get to running off at their mouth. Uh-oh.
No, this is Andre's verse. No, these next 2 verses are Andre's verses.
Yeah.
Okay. Telling me everything that's on your nasty mind. They say you're malnutrition in need of vitamin D. I think he's talking about penis. I think what he's saying is he wants to try to put it inside her and wiggle it around a little bit. I think that's what he's trying to say.
She needs a protein shake. Yeah.
And inviting me to that tingle in your spine. I love who you are. I love who you ain't. You're so Anne Frank. Yeah.
Is this just a reference to being skinny? Like, what is happening here? I'm tiptoeing here.
He's setting it up so he can do an attic reference after.
Okay, that's all it is the setup for the attic. Okay.
Or I also thought that maybe he was just like admiring her for being like so what's the word I'm looking for, but just like so secretive about it, keeping her mouth shut, exactly. not telling everybody about what he likes to do in his private life.
I would also like to think that
keeping secrets.
I'd also like to think that they're both kind of serenading the same girl and they don't know it.
Oh, I like that twist.
So Andre is her side piece. Yes.
Got it.
Let's hit the attic to hide out for about 2 weeks. Rick James and no chains and whips. I do suck lips.
Oh God. So they
You get chills?
I mean, you guys might need a moment. Just kidding.
Let a lady collect herself. My God.
The vapors. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Till hips jerk and double time. The boy next door is a freak. So he knows what he's doing. He is possessed of a level of sexual confidence foreign to most men.
Yeah, he's
no, and this whole time in the video he's brushing his teeth.
Yeah. That is another level of confidence.
Yeah, and it's so fresh, so clean. Is like that's why I think the song's kind of ironic. You know what I mean? Because like here's Big Boy bragging about stuff. Here's Andre being the sweet, nice guy, not blinking, smiling at the camera, cheesing at the camera and stuff. So
yeah.
And then the last.
And we are the coolest motherfuckers on the planet. In my mind, the sky is falling. Ain't no need to panic. But oh, I got a stick and I want you automatic, compatible, created in the attic.
Repeat 2 times, exactly.
Yes.
And he sings that last part, that last verse. He actually sings that.
No.
There's a lot of George Clinton.
Yeah.
Andre. He does a lot of Parliament Funkadelic type stuff. You know, he's the one that wears like the big, ski goggles and, catcher's mitt.
Right.
Pants. He's just that guy. So
I love it. I love that. My husband's that guy. Like if he doesn't like to play golf, or he does, he's not good at it. He's more excited to go because he wants to dress full out in like 1940s golf gear. I mean, like he just wants to dress up.
I like the golf for the chance to explore my closet.
So I loved this song, but I never really paid attention to anything more than, the chorus when, it was popular. Yeah. And now looking at it, I'm like, what horny boys they were.
I think that album came out in 2000. I think it came out in 2000. So they were 23, 24.
Makes sense.
So.
That's about the time to do it.
We talk about sampling, and I didn't even realize this. The song features a song from Joe Simon's "Before the Night Is Over," which I went back and listened to, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what song they're doing.
Yeah, Big Boy is also a big Kate Bush fan.
What?
Yep, it's one of his biggest influences.
How? That I love hearing shit like that. I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but like Tupac's favorite song was like a Don McLean song and called Van Gogh. And so I love hearing shit like that, like, because I love Kate Bush. Like I cannot picture a Big Boy listening to Running Up That Hill.
Like he made an album with Phanogram about 4 years ago. So like an entire album, and then went on tour with them. So they're all over the place, but I think that's what Southern, that's to me, that's why I like Southern, going back to stand-up, that's why I like Southern comics more than anybody else, is they seem to be like a mixture of East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
The influence of everything around them. And these guys are in Atlanta, which, Atlanta has so much culture and so much history behind it. It's just, they're just absorbing everything they've heard and seen, So I feel like New York is kind of like, New York hip hop sounds that way because everybody's just hanging out with each other. It's the same group of people. It's the same thing. This is word. And the South never really had any reputation for rap. So they were the first guys. They could do whatever they want. Just like what Scarface did. He could do whatever he wants. And so that when you can do whatever you want, like you're listening to everything and doing all that stuff. So.
Yeah, you're allowed to be creative. You're not having this peer pressure to be on one side or the other. Like you guys can do that. We're gonna make some shit happen down here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why when he released Hey Ya, what was it? That was the next album. I never thought that was going to take off. I had no idea that song was going to explode the way it did.
Huge.
Everybody knows that song, and that has nothing to do with rap. So.
Yeah. And it was just fun and colorful and bright and creative. And God, we needed that. I think we were in a slump for a while. We talked about that, how the beginning of the 90s was kind of depressing. Like the East Coast, West Coast, the music was kind of dark. The grunge was dark. Like we needed to wake up after that.
Yeah, I mean, they had a song called Rosa Parks. I don't know if you guys remember that, but they actually got sued by Rosa Parks' estate for using her name. And then I think what happened was, I think Rosa Parks' lawyers were the ones that did the lawsuit. But when Rosa Parks found out what it was, she called off the dogs. Because they're not trying to be disrespectful.
Right.
They're just being them. So one second. There we are. There we go. I keep getting Adobe keeps asking me to install.
Oh God, I hate that. I'm so sorry.
They do it every Zoom thing I ever do. They jump in. So.
Well, I felt like besides the horniness, this whole song is just one big shout out to like things they love and think is dope, especially like calling out all the cars and all the things. And I'm not very materialistic, so I was like, if I was just going to start like shouting out things that make me feel dope and clean, I wrote a little list. 4 solid minutes of sex. That's good for me.
Okay.
Feeling momentarily skinny after a stomach flu. That's the best. I'm a fan. Going to bed at a decent hour and getting 10 hours of sleep. You know what? I shouldn't write rap lyrics. I don't think it's for me. Literally a toilet that smells like bleach. Okay, I'm done. That's as far as my shout outs would go, I think.
What my nerdy obsession right now is Icelandic yogurt.
What on earth is that?
Yeah.
It's got to be better. Why is it better?
I think it's pronounced skyr or skyr, SKYR. That's like what it's actually called. Come on.
You can bring the dog in. Do you want to just pick him up and introduce everybody?
She wants to look at you guys. Let me see. She wants to say hi. You want to say hi? Let's
I love dogs. Hi.
No.
Oh, pretty.
Hey, buddy.
The other one, there's the 2 guys.
There's the doodle.
Yeah, there they
both
No, but Icelandic yogurt is like, yogurt's all about probiotics, right? And so, Greek yogurt had their moment in the sun, but they're full of sugar. Icelandic yogurt, it tastes just as good, but it's supposedly better for you. So I love it.
Well, shit. Now I have a new thing to add to my grocery list.
Still don't know how to pronounce it. The brand is called Sigis or Icelandic Provisions.
Oh, I've had Siggies. Okay.
Yeah. They're awesome. So that's I don't know how you rhyme Icelandic yogurt, and I feel like skyr it hasn't popped up yet because I had this issue with quinoa. I didn't know how to pronounce quinoa until it got famous.
Right.
Same thing with this. I'm probably pronouncing it acai.
Acai. I don't know how to say it either.
Yeah. And then so skyr, I don't know. It hasn't hit that moment, so I don't know what it is.
Oh my gosh.
Just call it Viking yogurt. Make it easy on yourself. Viking yogurt. It'll keep you pillaging.
I like that.
I got my probiotics from Thor. I don't know. Like
already in yogurt.
We're rapping about yogurt. This is our rap song. We're gonna start with yogurt.
Probiotics, man.
Oh, I love it. Let's see. We talked about Erykah Badu. We talked about, I was looking at my little list of fun facts. Both Andre and Big Boy realized that their music reached people in different ways. And I like this one story. They met a fan after a concert that said their song, Get Up, Get Out, he would listen to every morning. And that's what made him get out of bed and go to school. And it helped him graduate from college, which is always nice.
He has this line in there. He says, I never smelled aroma of diploma, but I write the sweet ass rhymes. That's what never smelled aroma of diploma. That's the big line in there.
What a word.
He was 17, so that song was about not dropping out of high school, which is very weird because I think Andre actually dropped out of high school. But,
yeah.
I think he did. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, I would too if I was this good at 17. I mean.
Well, he also quit making music too. He was done with it. Like I think he's done a couple of cameos in the last 20 years, but they haven't had an album out since that double album, since Idlewild was the last one, that movie they made a long time ago. That was probably 10, 12 years ago. He hasn't done anything since then. He said he was retired. He was done because he'd already said what he wanted to say.
That's why he's like, I gave you what I had.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You
Well,
know,
I
so-
do love Andre in the movies, like in what's the basketball movie with Will Ferrell?
oh, semi-pro.
Semi-pro. I think he's great.
Yeah, he's also in Four Brothers, like his little
Mm,
Mark Wahlberg deep
Wahlberg.
cut. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Well, I kind of miss having Andre in our face all the time. He could come back if he wanted to. If
you
he
know,
wanted to.
I have this one story of when I met him. I
Ooh.
was at a Cowboys game, and I saw him walking down with his, well, I guess with his kids or something. He was walking down to his seats, and I remember standing there. And my buddy was like, "Yo, you got to go ask him for a picture." I'm like, "Man, you know what? If he comes back up this way, then it means the gods are telling me to go ask for a picture." Because I'm not that guy that asks for a picture, but
Right.
he's easily the biggest musical influence on me. So I'm just sitting there, and my buddy goes to the bathroom. I was waiting for my buddy, and here he comes, like right back up the stairs to grab something to eat. And I go, "Hey man, I don't normally do this, man, but could I grab a picture with you?" And he goes, "I don't take pictures." And it fucking, then in my head I was like, "Well, then how the fuck you make your album covers? You took
Yeah.
a picture at some point."
And you're like, no, I want you to be in it. You're like, as if you didn't understand. No, I don't want you to take a picture of me. I want to take a picture. And then he's just like, boy.
You know, and this was like when you had to, this is when you had to like actually wait and pose. I mean, now you can just run up behind him and take a selfie and shit. But you know,
Right.
I still have the etiquette where I feel I should ask somebody before I take their picture. You know, but
For sure.
I
Well-
broke off hearing him to say that. But whatever, I still love him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand. I was listening to Conan on his podcast talking about the rules he has. Like, once he is like with his family, it's like, I'm sorry, no. And he'll even tell the person, wait till we leave the restaurant. Get me then. He's like, but this is their time. But I get it. It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard to be bombarded all the time.
He has such a unique look too. He's very, very unique. Even when he dresses down, his face is very recognizable. He has that
And
big
it
smile.
opens the door too. Like if someone may not have noticed him, then they see you doing it and they're like, Andre. And then he's like, I got to deal with that shit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So
It's got to be hard. Just to bring up a funny story, because I love telling it. My husband has partied with Coolio on 2 different continents randomly. The first time is when he was stationed in Korea when he was in the army, and he had you could get outfits made in Korea for so cheap. So he picked out this, I don't know if you remember these, Ben, this fabric that was just pink feathers, and he had a Korean guy make a full suit out of just pink fluffy feathers. So he was wearing that suit, and of course Coolio was there, and that caught Coolio's attention, so they partied. And then Corbin's parents used to have a house in Breckenridge, and this was years later, and they're walking down the street in Breckenridge, and the tour bus stops, or some kind of bus, and Coolio steps off, and Corbin's like, Coolio, and the guy's like, what? And he's like, pink feather pants, remember? And then they partied again.
awesome.
Did Coolio remember?
Yeah, I think he
Did he-
remembered the pants. You can't.
Yeah.
And our previous guest, Robin Weinberg, now, or at least at one point, owned the pants. Corbin gave it to him, and I don't know if he still has them.
I'd like to think that their conversation the second time was like, "So how are those pants doing?"
Yeah.
I feel like I have a Corbin story for every podcast now. There's just so damn many, but yeah. So, what else we got?
Do you think Andre 3000 could bring Mark Wahlberg back into the studio? Or do you think that there's any hip hop star that's big enough to get Marky Mark to drop a verse again? To get him to stop like the actor lead tough guy pretensions and just come back in and just be yourself. Come back and be Marky
What do you
Mark.
hate more, his acting career or his rap career?
I don't hate either of them. Like I like them. I still think Good Vibrations is a jam. Like I really do.
I still have it. I do the air piano with that thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I still have it. Yeah. So I can't lie about that. But
I could see Marky Mark, like from what I've read, like I think he's pretty defensive about it because like anybody who says, hey, Marky Mark, like it's at least half an insult, right? He's like, look, no, I'm Mark Wahlberg now. I'm not that guy anymore. So I could see him being like totally resistant to it. But I think Mark Wahlberg coming in and doing a verse on your song would be like the biggest get in hip hop, don't you think?
That would be great.
Mhm.
The hip hop's so bad now, like Paul was saying, he would be very choosy on who he would allow that to happen with.
Yeah.
yeah, it's even hard. I mean, I don't know any rappers from the 90s that are still, I mean, De La Soul's still putting stuff out, but I don't know if anybody that, I mean, music anyway, but hip hop that has transcended for 30 years. Hip hop doesn't age well.
It doesn't.
And Outkast did. Like nobody knows Big Boy solo stuff. They know him as a member of Outkast. And so
Right.
like I can go to an Outkast concert in 10 years and still not feel like I'm an old guy around little kids, because they have like a full band. They do costume changes. They do everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, I feel
for
bad
sure.
that I missed out. I wish I had gone to one now.
They're all online. You can watch them on YouTube. All their stuff. Their Coachella reunion. All that stuff is on there. So.
But now you really got me thinking, is there any rap act from the 90s that's still doing anything?
I mean, they're putting out stuff and they'll have concerts. I mean, I go to all these concerts. There's only like maybe there's a few hundred of us there, which I don't care.
Yeah.
But to put out stuff compared to what's out right now, like, I mean, the Roots, maybe, I guess the Roots, but
right.
Nobody really listens to the Roots because they're Jimmy Fallon's band. They watch that stuff. But
right.
Yeah, I don't think you can't compete with Cardi B and stuff. It's just a different time. So it's just a different, the beats are terrible to me. The beats are really weak. They're not layered. They don't sample anything because they don't want to spend money to sample anything. So
everything's rushed. It's like there's no craft anymore. There's no care put into it.
Once you put SoundCloud and anybody can put anything on there, then everybody thinks they're a musician. And I think there's like some YouTube video of this guy who figured out the algorithm for rap songs, like how you can get a bunch of hits on SoundCloud. Like it's like the percussive beat is like a hand clap, and then you have to repeat this word like at least 20 times in the song. And because of that, that's how everybody's a SoundCloud rapper. Everybody has all these songs that pop. And so, it's kind of like when people put stuff on YouTube and like, this is my show, but it's like anybody can put anything on YouTube. Doesn't mean you have a show. You just upload it,
Yeah, like anybody can do a music podcast and put it out there.
You guys are having fun though.
We are, and honestly, we probably will never make money off of this, but we have no desire to stop anytime soon either. So
making money's not the plan. I also think that like the real thing is like music, whether it's hip hop or rock and roll or anything, is kids talking to kids. So part of the reason why like we're just too old. Like we just don't we don't relate to it anymore. Like our needs are different. The things that we want are completely different.
Yeah. And the craft is changing, I guess. I'm sure like soul singers from the 1960s probably thought rap was fucking garbage when it came out in the 80s. Like they don't understand the new craft, and maybe that's where we are. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is. The world has passed us by.
I'm okay with it.
Sorry. I didn't mean to bring you down, man.
I'm actually okay with it. We actually don't have a 6 degrees of Tommy Stinson with Jeremy this week because it's spring break. We're recording early. Jeremy was in Portland, so he's going to come back hard next week with our next song. So
excellent.
There we go. Okay.
I was going to say, like, how amazing would it be if this one like actually stumped Jeremy? It's just like, it's just not there. Like I've spent weeks on it. It can't be done.
I don't think it's possible. I think Jeremy will always find a way.
Yeah, Jeremy finds a way.
So, but I don't want to leave if we're not done talking about Outkast. Do you have any more before I go into the next segment?
Do I have anything new about Outkast?
Yeah.
I don't know. Their second album, AT Aliens, is very good. It has that song Elevators. Anybody ever remember Elevators?
How does it? Can you sing it?
Me and you, your mama and your cousin too.
No. Oh yeah, I do.
That's that. It's ironic because we just talked about the Cowboys game thing. He has a verse in there talking about somebody meeting him at the mall. And so, you remember from high school? He's like, not really. And so now I realize I am that guy.
Yeah.
You hold me in that song not to do what I did.
It's like, you're not. You're like, okay, sorry. I was gonna. One more thing about the music video is that I love all the people that show up in it. So it says like. It has Sleepy Brown performing on a variety of CGI backgrounds, a beauty parlor, a church. And so there's Ludacris, Lazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony, which I fucking love Bone Thugs. Chili of TLC, members of Goody Mob make an appearance. So it's just a fun video where he's just like, everything I love, everything that's dope, like bring it all into one place.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta supports like crazy though, because like Bruce is in Atlanta and he's in a couple of their videos, and yeah, they're just great. They're great. I can't say anything bad about them.
Well, this is fun. Paul, I'll do our dressed up like a douche before we get to the next thing. Our dressed up like a douche this week comes from, I don't know how to say his name. I hate when I do this. Tom Durfee on Instagram. Durfee. I don't know. Sorry, Tom. I don't know many songs by America, but it's called Sister Golden Hair by America. Do you guys know the song?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
The actual line is Sister Golden Hair surprise. His friend heard Sister go down half surprised. Ooh. I don't think I'm gonna touch that one.
That's also like an acoustic song too, so that'd be even more gross that they're
Oh
God.
Ooh, acoustic taboo. No.
But when you look at, and I hate to bring up porn knowing my mom listens to this, but all porn right now is like sibling stuff, like stepsister and stepbrother stuff, and I'm like, when are they going to get past this? It's so gross. It is the wrong message. So yeah, I just imagine whatever this guy, you said it's acoustic, so he's probably singing it in a very beautiful way, like Sister go down half surprise, and people are like, say what? All right, Paul.
Gross.
Ben has a sister, and that's all he's thinking about right now.
Yeah.
Now he is.
Paul, let's hear it. What do you have a guilty pleasure song?
So I consider guilty pleasure songs the ones that I would sing at karaoke, you know, but I don't really own. But sticking with the theme, the Three's Company theme song is my absolute favorite. Fun fact, I don't know if you guys know about this karaoke. You can sing TV theme songs at karaoke.
Yes.
Come on, knock on my door. Come on, knock
we've
on
been
my
waiting
door.
for
We'll be
you.
waiting for
But just the
you.
beginning, like that wah-wah guitar, that guy. I like to think that he played that last chord on his knees. He like was slowly getting to his knees, jamming out.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've talked about this before, like singing jingles for commercials. Like I don't know if Massey Nissan, did they have the Massey Nissan commercials in Dallas? I wonder if it's just Houston, but it's hard rock again. Like, and Sarah Talamash and her ex used to see who could out Massey Nissan each other, because it starts off like Massey Nissan, but then there's like Massey Nissan moves you, like it gets crazy. Oh, that would be fun karaoke.
Yeah, you can do I've done Billy Joel's My Life is the Bosom Buddies theme song, but you can actually look up Bosom Buddies theme song and just go sing the 1 minute version of that.
I don't care what they say anymore.
I didn't realize that song was about a comic leaving to LA. I never really heard the lyrics.
Oh, I never
didn't know that either.
Yeah, the very first time he got a job doing, he's a comic. I forgot how he says it. I mean, he flat out says he's a stand-up comic going to LA to pursue his dream. But the Bosom Buddies part doesn't say that. Like the Bosom Buddies version is just,
right. That's
whatever.
another show kids just don't know. They missed out. They think we don't know. We know cross-dressing. We know transgender.
Tom Hanks was still low back in the 80s.
Oh, God, that was such a good show.
He was in a dress. He had AIDS. He did everything there.
Yeah, he kind of covered it all. Yeah. And then all again in Forrest Gump in just one fell swoop. All right, Paul, pandemic's almost over with. We're starting to come out. Do you want to promote yourself? Are you going to start being more places? Where can people see and hear more of you?
This weekend, I don't know when you guys are airing this, but
sorry. Yeah, this will come out next Monday. So, oh God, I don't have the date, but anyway, go ahead.
I think was it the last Wednesday of, I guess that would be in 2 weeks of March. I am headlining in Addison at the Addison Improv. I'll be there. I'm in Houston at the Houston Improv every other month anyway. So if they just look that stuff up, they can see it. But I'll be there in Addison at the last Wednesday, headlining the Addison Improv. Shows at 8. Tickets online, obviously, and it's fun. They opened everything back up here, which is however people feel about it. The audiences have been amazing. Oh,
good.
I think they opened in Dallas. They opened all the comedy clubs back up in June. So ever since then, it's been. I'm not saying it was right, but they did it. But the crowd are a lot more appreciative of live performance now than they were pre-pandemic, which is great.
Right.
So, which I wish that had happened the first 18 years of my career, but that's okay. It's like,
Well, as a comic, you feel a little safer because you're up on stage in a way. And if they're wearing masks, you're like, okay, just don't laugh real hard. Like, don't scream your laugh at me.
yeah, they're not laughing at my shit. They're just trying to be healthy and not spread the virus. That's what they're
Right.
doing.
That's what you're talking about. All right, Paul, thank you so much. This was so fun.
I hope you guys had fun. And buy Stankonia now.
Yes.
Support Andre.
I will.
I will. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, Paul.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you soon.
Remove. It's always.
We did it. I did another hip hop episode.
I'm really proud of you, Ben. It's not that bad. You always get.
We're doing a face plant.
You always
get
so nervous. Yeah, I did too a little bit because, I love hip hop, but the same way, like I can't speak on it the way I can new wave music. So I get nervous a little bit.
Figure out a way to get more comfortable with it. I mean, obviously it's just going to be a matter of just like listening to it and figuring out how to groove with it.
Yeah.
But I do, like it makes me nervous because it's such a gap in my knowledge and a gap in my experience. And if you believe, as I do, that racism is fundamentally ignorance, well, this is something I'm ignorant of. So
Right.
if one is true, then both are true.
Well, next week you're going to be comfortable again because this next week's will drop on the day of our 1-year anniversary of starting this podcast.
Whoa.
And for that, we are going to go ahead and do we're going to cover our namesake and do Rock the Casbah by The Clash.
Yes. Rock the Casbah, rock the Casbah. It'll be nice to get back into that. I'm going to scream myself hoarse so I can do a proper Joe Strummer.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Well, this was fun. Let's do it again sometime, like next week.
Let's do it.
See you there. Boom.
Boog.